The Roman Empire's influence can still be seen in everything from politics and law to architecture and civil engineering, as well as in literature, the arts, and even the languages we speak. The Latin city of Alba Longa is where the mythological beginnings of Rome's foundation take place. There, their great-uncle sentenced the twin newborn sons of Mars, the god of war, and a priestess, to death. Famously, a she-wolf saved Romulus and Remus, and a poor shepherd reared them. Don't forget to subscribe to Ancient History for fascinating insights into the mysteries of the ancient world and captivating historical narratives. They were going to create their own city as young men, but in a struggle over where to locate it, Remus's brother killed him. After declaring Rome to be an asylum city while he was king, Romulus drew sketchy individuals from all over the Italian peninsula. Due to the necessity for wives for this predominantly male society, young women from nearby towns and tribes were kidnapped. This act became known as the Rape of the Sabine Women. Nevertheless, in a few years, Romulus and the Sabine monarch made plans to share power. The following event, the ruler's untimely or violent death, would recur throughout Rome's history. First, a riot claimed the life of Titus Tatius, the king of Sabine. Then, during a storm, Romulus vanished. In legend, he transformed into the god Quirinus and departed from this world. It seems likely that competing politicians assassinated him. Important aspects of Roman culture emerged under the reign of Numa Pompilius, the second king. The 12-month calendar, the Vestal Virgins, and the role of pontifex, or priest. 5 more kings succeeded Numa. The last, known as Tarquin the Proud, not only killed his forebear, but was also deposed by the populace. In the 6th century BCE, the Free Republic of Rome was thus established. The patricians, a select group of aristocratic families, dominated both politics and religion. The vast bulk of Rome's inhabitants, the plebeians, were left out. Nonetheless, complaints between 494 and 287 BCE resulted in certain changes, such as the creation of the 12 tables of recorded rules, the Concilium Plebis, and tribunes devoted to this purpose. The affluent plebeians, or equestrian class, gradually gained the same rights as the patricians, despite their gradual advancement. But nothing changed for the impoverished, and many of the modifications were superficial. The Republic ruled over all of Italy throughout the ensuing years, spending nearly all of those years in a state of war. After the Punic Wars with Carthage, Rome grew into North Africa and Spain, becoming a Mediterranean superpower by 130 BCE. Marius, the consul, changed the military. By 102 BCE, soldiers received farms as a retirement benefit and were compensated for their service. Rich men established devoted private armies with their fortunes. When Marius's opponent, General Sulla, marched his army into Rome in 88 BCE, corruption and avarice in Rome sparked civil conflicts. After all, Sulla prevailed and was made a consul. Rome prepared for civil war once more in 49 BCE when General Julius Caesar, the Gaulish hero, led his army across the Rubicon River into Italy. He was going to square off against Pompey, his erstwhile political comrade and buddy, as well as the Senate. Pompey launched a military expedition that failed. Pharaoh Ptolemy XIII ordered his assassination in an attempt to gain Caesar's favor. Rather, a crucial encounter between Caesar and Cleopatra, Ptolemy's sister, resulted in a well-known romance and the pharaoh's demise. Caesar had become even more of a hero back in Rome as a result of his benevolent treatment of his rivals. For 10 years, the Senate proclaimed Caesar an absolute ruler, but Caesar abused his authority. He essentially signed his own death sentence in 44 BCE when he proclaimed himself dictator for life. Approximately 40 senators fatally stabbed him on the government building's floor on the Ides of March. The Romans were furious with the Republic's liberators. Eventually, civil conflict broke out once more, involving General Mark Antony, Caesar's dependable ally, Cleopatra, Mark Antony's girlfriend, and Octavian, Caesar's nephew and heir. Antony and Cleopatra's deaths gave Octavian the victory. Egypt was subjugated by Rome and lost its important grain crop. It marked the start of the empire and the end of the Republic. In 27 BCE, Octavian, later known as Augustus, was proclaimed emperor, son of the god Caesar. Augustus, as the only ruler, kept up the appearance that the republic still existed. The Senate continued to play a significant role, although its true function was to validate the emperor's choices. The 41-year reign of Augustus was a golden age. There was stability and wealth, culture blossomed, and peace prevailed. Augustus created a courier system and a network of roads. In addition to establishing the Praetorian Guard and a standing army, he also built specialized police and fire services in Rome. In addition, he started the city's massive reconstruction project. After a tremendous expansion into Central Europe, the empire achieved its conquest of Spain. But Rome's advance into Germania was stopped in 9 AD after losing 3 legions there. Despite his initial popularity, Caligula's true character quickly became apparent. He established himself as a living deity, put many people to death, including family members, and started having incestuous relationships with his sisters during the course of his 4-year reign. He was killed by the Praetorian Guard, who then installed his uncle Claudius in his place. Claudius had no idea he would become emperor. Due to several physical obstacles, he had lived a solitary life as a scholar. Claudius was a competent administrator despite his inexperience, ordering the construction of several roads, aqueducts, and canals throughout the empire. Britain was successfully conquered during his 13-year rule. He passed away in 54 AD, most likely at the hands of his 4th wife to make room for Nero, her son. The legend that Nero fiddled while Rome burned is well known. He held the troublesome sect of Christians responsible for the catastrophic Great Fire of 64 AD. Because of his excessive spending, the public was diverted from the empire's empty coffers by the fire. Nero was a hated man who easily defeated his opponents. He committed suicide in 68 AD when the Senate labeled him an enemy of Rome following a mutiny by the Praetorian Guard and soldiers. There was no successor left by Nero. 4 men contested for the throne throughout the course of the next year. In 69 AD, it was Vespasian, a general from the equestrian elite, who emerged victorious. During his 10-year reign, Vespasian put forth a great deal of effort to rebuild the empire's finances and built numerous significant structures, such as the Colosseum, which has come to represent Rome itself. A large portion of this construction project was funded by the seized treasures from the Jerusalem Temple. Prior to becoming emperor, Vespasian served as governor of Judea, and his son Titus gained notoriety for quelling the Jewish opposition in that region. Just 2 years were under Titus's rule when his brother took over as ruler in 81 AD. Despite his tendency toward autocracy, Domitian appeared to have the backing of both the soldiers and the populace. For 15 years, Rome prospered under his leadership. However, he crossed the wrong court officials, who then had him killed. During the stable period of the 2nd century AD, known as the Nerva-Antonine dynasty, the Roman Empire experienced relative tranquility under a succession of emperors who were primarily adopted heirs. Leaders like Trajan, Hadrian, and Marcus Aurelius contributed to the empire's prosperity and expansion, with notable achievements such as Trajan's conquests that extended Roman territory from the Caspian Sea to Scotland, and Hadrian's construction of the renowned Wall in Britannia. However, this era was tarnished by the reign of Commodus, who, despite being the son of Marcus Aurelius, proved to be an egotistical and unskilled ruler. His death in 192 AD marked the onset of the imperial crisis, a turbulent period characterized by conspiracies and violent transitions of power. Amid the chaos of the imperial crisis, Diocletian, a former soldier, rose to prominence and sought to restore stability to the empire. In 284 AD, he initiated a significant reform by dividing the Roman Empire into 2 halves, with himself ruling the eastern section and his co-emperor Maximian governing the western part. This division, known as the Tetrarchy, or Rule of 4, involved the appointment of junior emperors, or Caesars, to oversee each half. Despite Diocletian's efforts to centralize power and maintain order, his regime was marked by severe persecution of Christians, who resisted the deification of the emperor. Paradoxically, this persecution only strengthened the Christian faith, leading to Diocletian's eventual abdication in 305 AD. Amidst the ensuing power struggle, Constantine emerged victorious and declared Christianity lawful, heralding a new era for the Roman Empire. The empire eventually broke up into East and West once more. After years of fending off the military and political intrigues of barbarian interlopers, the Western Roman Empire crumbled in 476 AD. The Eastern Empire persisted as the Byzantine Empire until ultimately crumbling under the Ottoman Turks' power in 1453. The Roman Empire was over after nearly a millennium. That's all for this video. We will be back soon with another informative video. Don't forget to like and share this video. To keep exploring ancient history together, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time,